so that we can have that community feeling, because as humans, I think we all want to be connected and included somewhere and with someone.
You're listening to Essential Oil Conversations, the podcast for busy women who love natural living, friendship, and a little bit of entrepreneurship too.
What are we talking about today, Heather?
We are going to be talking about marjoram essential oil.
This is not one I reach for very often. And so it's interesting smelling it because I kind of forgot what it smelled like, but also I knew it wasn't something that like I want to diffuse necessarily. But smelling it today, it smells like oregano to me.
It does. It's a little bit sweeter maybe than oregano, but it is very herbaceous smelling. This is one that sits in my kitchen at all times. Anything with the supplements facts box that we can use, we kind of keep separately from the other oils. I don't know that we use it very often for cooking. I will say, though, that this bottle is nearly empty, so somebody's been using it.
Yeah. Well, and I just accidentally tasted it because I held it up close enough that it hit my lip. I know you're normally the taste tester, but yeah, it tastes herbaceous as well.
And it'll stick with you for a few minutes because I actually put a little bit to the roof of my mouth before we started, and I had to take a big sip of my coffee to get rid of it because it was very strong.
So, I mean, definitely this would be great for a recipe that called for marjoram. And as always, use the toothpick for this because just the little drop that connected to my lip just then, pretty strong.
Agreed.
But yeah, so how do you typically use this one?
I'm not sure that I am the one that uses this one very often. I'm guessing my husband has, so I would have to ask him how he uses it. However, doing a little bit of research beforehand for this oil, this is considered the oil of connection. And this episode is coming out just before Valentine's Day. And so I feel like this would be a good one for people to use just to improve their ability to trust and connect. The Essential Emotions book talks a lot about how the inability to trust often stems from harsh life experiences. So people will create barriers or boundaries based on that. However, humans as a whole are built on community and being able to interact with others. And so, although I think it's important to have boundaries and make sure that you are aware of people and maybe that not everybody can be trustworthy, I also think it's important to find people that you can trust and feel connected to. So this oil can be used all three ways. That said, we've both just done the taste test. I'm not sure that this would be my first choice of use.
Not adding it to my water today. But going back to the connection thing, like I think that is so important. Like just even thinking about all of the conversations about blue zones, so the people who live past 100, connection and community is a big part of why they have this longevity. But I also think right now there's so much negative information out there, helpful, like educational, like all of the podcasts and stuff about narcissism. But I think people are also at this point overly cautious to create new relationships because the assumption is that everybody, I guess not everybody, but I think there's an assumption often that people are not going to necessarily be a great connection for you, or we're more guarded because maybe we've been burned by somebody who either is a narcissist or we suspect is a narcissist, or we're guarded because of, political differences or whatever it might be. And so using an oil like this, just aromatically, and maybe not in the diffuser, but just even if you're somebody who struggles with trusting people, opening the bottle and smelling it at the same time while reminding yourself that relationships are important and healthy for you could be a way to start opening yourself up to starting to connect with people again, connecting, just being, I guess, open to connection.
And I know you've been big on mantras in the past. And so, again, the Essential Emotions book talks about the positive properties of this oil is being emotionally open and connected, forming close relationships, soft-hearted, loving, or trusting. So maybe just even something as you're smelling directly from the bottle, which I will say, even just sitting here and having this conversation with this bottle open, I just generally feel a little bit more relaxed right this second.
Same.
I don't know if you do too.
Yeah.
But just kind of having some of those positive thoughts or running a phrase through your head about, I would prefer to feel emotionally open and connected to, whoever this person is that you are thinking about at the time. But I feel like there is diffuser blends that go with this. In fact, cedarwood is the oil of community and lavender is the oil of communication. So if you did, let's say, 3 drops cedarwood, 2 of marjoram, and 2 of lavender, I think we're then kind of opening ourselves up to those possibilities, helping kind of allow us to feel like we can communicate better with the person or be a little bit more connected to them so that we can have that community feeling. Because as humans, I think we all want to be connected and included somewhere and with someone.
Yeah. Yep. Totally agree. Well, some of the other uses for this oil, honestly, most of the other uses for this oil, we can't talk about, at least not publicly. So just a reminder, get yourself a reference book. It makes such a difference because my top use for this oil, and like you, I've got about a third of the bottle left. My top use for this oil is actually gifting it to people who are going through some major health struggles. And I'm thinking of one thing in particular that I can't really say, but I'm going to kind of hint at it. It's super painful skin condition that there's not really medicine that can help with it. It's something that like if you get this and went to the doctor, they would say, just take the time, rest, try to reduce stress, and that can help it pass. But this is a miracle worker, and I have given it to so many people, diluted in a roller bottle, probably 10 drops of this. The rest of it is fractionated coconut oil for them to rub over that painful feeling, and it's been a huge gift for them and really helped them. So if you don't have a reference book, or if you're curious about what I'm talking about, get yourself a reference book. But we also have a Reference Book Matchmaker. It's a free PDF that you can download. We've got the link here in the show notes, so go get that, download it, figure out which reference book would be best for you, because there's so many different things, powerful things that these essential oils can do for you that we just legally can't talk about on a podcast. So
I'm using Essential Emotions this morning. What are you using?
I right now have open in front of me the Essential Life book, which is probably my favorite of the reference books because it's got pretty pictures, but also good facts. So we all are differently wired,
Agreed. Yes. And I have several reference books because I feel like I have different needs depending on what I'm going for. This one does have a lot of health benefits. And so this Essential Emotions book is not what I would use for that if I was looking something up. I've got a couple of others. That said, this is also often used in massage. It helps with just kind of relaxing muscles. So if you combine this, I think, with things like frankincense or even Siberian fir, which is also good for muscles, and you can do it post-massage, diluted with some fractionated coconut oil. Is this an aroma touch as well?
It is. Yeah, it is.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really interesting to see the list of things that the blend sits in. So it's in Align, Aroma Touch, Past Tense, and then Serenity.
Oh, okay.
Which I definitely wouldn't have thought this was in Serenity. So, yeah, lots of different uses for it.
Speaking about Serenity and using this at nighttime, then, it talks about how if you have a fussy child that is struggling to go down at nap time, it talks about how you can put this on the bottoms of their feet diluted and help them relax before nap time. So that makes sense that it's in Serenity.
Yeah, yeah. So lots of really good uses for this oil. Go check it out. And anything else you want to say about marjoram?
No, I like oils like this. I don't use it often, and I don't necessarily always think about using it, but I love when I need it for something, it is available.
Yeah, same. Well, we hope you found this helpful, and we will have a brand new essential oil conversation coming out soon.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This podcast is not intended to treat, diagnose, cure, or prevent any disease.